Hey everybody, welcome to the Passionate Photographer Patreon page, and Steve Simon here. With this post, I wanted to talk about this great photographer, led a tragic life. Some of you probably know about her, Deanne Arbus. The first major photography exhibition at the Museum of Modern Art, arguably one of the most influential photographers of her generation, of all time, I guess. And this picture taken by Gary Winogrand, I believe in Central Park, one of the rare images of her. But you can see how she's working, very close with a 2.25 camera and a flash often. And she was attracted to maybe people a little bit off the grid in society. That was who interested her. I think she felt sympathy and empathy. And a bit of a kindred spirit, even though she was, born into money. And in the end, she took her own life. There's a movie that I've never seen, starring Nicole Kidman, about her life. But I wanted to talk about her because one of the things that I attribute to her is this quote, and it's she didn't say it exactly like this, but essentially she said, "The more personal you make it, the more universal it becomes." And for me, that's been such a liberating idea, and it's one that I'm sure you've heard me say if you've been in one of my workshops, or met me at a bus stop, or overheard me in an elevator. Just because it sets you free. It basically says that, look, I'm going to photograph what I find interesting, and who cares about anybody else? Because if you feel strongly about something, because photography is a universal language, the viewers of your images will get it. They'll see it. They'll be communicated by it, whatever it is. So whatever your genre is, if you're a landscape photographer photographing the beauty, if you want to promote awareness for a cause, whatever it is that you feel strongly about, if you can find a way to create a set of images in that area, immediately you're going to separate yourself from the pack because it's personal, and you put your unique fingerprint on that particular project or set of images or image. And it's a very kind of freeing kind of feeling to know that you can be selfish in what you photograph. I mean, if you went back to the place you were born, the area you were born, and just did a series there, even though most people just by looking at the photographs would never necessarily get that, I think as a serious photographer, you probably would convey the importance of the places and the things that you choose to photograph. So that's one concept. But the thing I really wanted to say was, back in the day, as a photographer, often I would, shooting film, find out that my best images were like frame 35, 36. And there's a reason for that, I think. And that is, it's like anything. You have to kind of warm up to the stronger images. So I'm always saying, choose visual potential. And hopefully, if you get lucky, and you will get lucky if you do this enough, something spontaneous and authentic will happen, and you'll be able to capture it with your camera. I mean, the more time you spend, you'll start to sort of see things and feel more comfortable. Your surroundings will know you're there, and they'll feel more comfortable. And ultimately, that's when the picture happens. And this Deanne Arbus contact sheet is a perfect example. This image right here on the right is the last frame of the contact sheet. And the reality is that all these other pictures, if you really kind of look at them closely, there really is nothing there. But somehow this kid reacted in that last frame. And he may have been reacting to the fact that, look, when is this picture session going to be over? I want to go out and play. Regardless, it's created this sort of great moment and energy. And of course, he's carrying a little grenade. I mean, that's not politically correct anymore as a toy, generally speaking, in the Western world and most parts of the world. But and that adds to it and sets a time and place. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, that could have been anything. And it's not a perfect picture. You can see there's a person in the back, growing out of his head. But it doesn't matter either, because perfection, you can have a perfectly boring, perfect image, but there has to be something else going on. The main takeaway here is to work it more, spend more time. In my experience, the more time you spend in fewer places, the more it'll pay dividends and you'll have strong images for your portfolio. You know, the more you do this, you've set your bar high, so it's harder to add to the portfolio because you've already got, hopefully, a selection of images that you're happy with and feel strongly about. So that's it for now. I just wanted to let you know. It's a short little post here, but hopefully there's something there that you can use. And in the meantime, get out there and great shooting, everybody.